Hello and welcome to this new little news video here on the channel. Now, earlier in the week, we were able to announce or to present you the 11/12 release batch of Herpa Wings, so the November-December 2022 release batch. But the day after our video was uploaded to this channel here, well, Herpa came with their presentation, and there were a few small pieces of information that they revealed there that we of course didn't have beforehand. So let's hear what they had to say specifically about the A319 of American Airlines that was announced in this release batch.
American Airlines has a number of retro jets in its fleet. A few years back, we had already produced a small series of Boeing 737s painted in TWA, Reno Air or Air Cal colors. Just recently we shipped out an Embraer E170 in the old colors of American Eagle. And now adding to this series of heritage liveries is this new A319 in the colors of Piedmont Airlines, which had originally been taken over by US Airways before then again US Airways was merged into American Airlines. More of these heritage liveries will follow shortly.
So honestly speaking, I did not see that coming. I think that's quite interesting that they actually are working on more of these heritage liveries. So the question now is, of course, which heritage liveries could that be? Because they have already made all the heritage liveries that are on the 737s. They did that a few years back. And of course, now they want to do the Piedmont on the A319. So what is left? As far as I know, of course, we still have the PSA livery, which they, interestingly enough, of course, already did, but back then it was the heritage livery for US Airways. But today the aircraft is still flying around in that livery, but instead of US Airways, of course, it has the American Airlines logo. So that could maybe be an updated model for us to get. And then there is, of course, which I think is kind of funny, I think it's on an A321, the US Airways heritage livery. So maybe those are the next two models coming up, but what do you think? Let me know in the comment section below. Then there was one more model that I think is actually worth talking a little bit more about. I kind of skimmed over it in my presentation video because I wasn't really that interested in the model, but I think there is something interesting about it. I'm of course talking about the 767-200 of China Airlines. Now, the model itself, I'm really still not interested in, but the fact is, of course, they have the China Airlines livery. Let's hear what they had to say about that.
The 767 of China Airlines is the next model to join our little series celebrating the 40th anniversary of the 767. It is also the first time in quite a long time that we had models of this Taiwanese airline as part of a retail range.
So obviously they don't talk like with the American Airlines that they already are working on new models, but the fact remains they have the license. So I think that could, if we are lucky, mean that we perhaps could get some China Airlines models in 2023. And personally, I would actually be quite excited about that. Then there is more news coming from Herpa Wings, however, something they only told their club members. In early September, Herpa Wings sent out letters to all their club members with some quite interesting information. Now, luckily, I have that letter and I have translated the bits that are most interesting for us from German to English. So let's see what they had to say. This year, we were able to celebrate anniversaries of both our magazines. Wings World had its 25th anniversary and Der Maßstab reached 40 years. Also, the Herpa Cars Club became 30 years old as it was started back in 1992. These are great achievements and we owe you a great of gratitude for your support for our products and company. In order to maintain our high level going forward, we have conducted several polls and questionnaires and have received much feedback and ideas from club members, for which we are very grateful. It has become clear that many club members especially are interested in the benefits of ordering models which are discounted and to order exclusive and highly collectible models. We have therefore decided to close down both Herpa clubs in their current form by the end of the year, but currently working on new concepts to facilitate the beforehand mentioned preferred club benefits. The goal is to also in the future facilitate the possibility of ordering models at a discounted rate and to get exclusive special models, but without the financial burden of a club membership. Also, both magazines will be ceased by the end of the year, and Herpa is working on a digital replacement, but is still working on concepts. The goal is to present the new platform sometime next year. So, a lot of information here, but I think there are a few crucial bits here that I find really interesting and I think we should talk about. Firstly, they have made some polls and have asked their club members what they actually want from the club. And perhaps not that surprisingly, the majority has said we want discounted models and exclusive models. Now, why could that be? Now, obviously, if you don't live in Germany, that's anyway the only benefits you really got out of the club membership, because any other benefits you would get would entail you to travel to Nuremberg or some of the trade fairs across Germany throughout the year, which many club members, if they are not living in Germany, would probably not do. So I don't think this is a surprising result. What I think is, however, a little bit funny and surprising is the fact that they have decided to close down their club membership. And at the same time promise their collectors or their club members that going forward they will create something new where they will get the same benefits but without being a club member. So right now club members are paying a yearly fee. They won't be doing that going forward, but will still have the same benefits. Great for all collectors, but I don't get the logic here. I mean, Herpa is throwing away money they would receive anyway for no good reason. And it gets even funnier, because how can you make models exclusive if there's nothing attached to it? You don't have to be a club member. I don't quite understand how they want to pull that off, but I'm very much looking forward to it. The only good news from that is, of course, that if they still want to do these exclusive models, there is still the chance that they will continue to make these more detailed models, which we of course all like. Although I would have preferred if they just said, you know what, you're already paying a fortune for every model, now we give you actually detailed models and everyone can buy them. But let's see what they come up with for next year. Then last but certainly not least, I have one more bit of news, and unfortunately it is not very good news. I hate to end the video on a quite bleak note, but well, that's just what it is. I have been talking with NG Models. If you have watched my series Herpa We Need to Talk, you might know that I told you that I had been talking with NG Models, and at that time they were actually saying, yes, scale 500 models could be a possibility and we would look into it for the second half of 2022. Now we are in the second half of 2022 and there had been no news from NG Models whatsoever. So I wrote to them again and didn't receive an answer for a long time, until a few days ago, when they wrote back and said that they would focus on scale 200 and 400. So I think for now, the scale 500 project, when it comes to NG Models, is pretty much dead, which of course is a huge blow, because I know many of you out there, including me, would have been very excited to see NG Models start doing scale 500 models, because as we all know, if there's one thing needed here, it's competition for Herpa wings. Now that's all the news I have for this time. I hope you have enjoyed this kind of video here on the channel. If you have so, then feel free to leave a like, that would be very much appreciated. And of course, if you are new around here, you're always welcome to hit subscribe. With that, I'd like to say thank you very much for watching. Hope to see you soon again. I'm checking out, and bye.